Welcome to Voices of Impact and Change, where we amplify the stories behind stories, the journeys, the breakthroughs, and the voices that are transforming lives. I'm your host, Dr. Mack, Chief Visionary Officer of Mack Media and Publishing. And today I'm super excited to have another special guest as a part of our I Am Her Fierce, Fearless, and Focus series. And so today I am super honored joined by the Dr. Valarie Williams Harris, who is the author of the chapter Unshaken, Unstoppable, Unapologetic, Rising Boldly into Purpose and Legacy. And so I want to welcome Dr. Valarie. It is such a pleasure to have you on today and super excited to kind of hear your voice and really amplify that and share it with others. How are you?
I'm doing well, and thank you so much for inviting me tonight. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
excited.
absolutely. Yes, yes. Well, we can just jump right in. So, I just shared what your title was. And so, if you can just kind of explain to us, what does it mean to be unshaken, unstoppable, and unapologetic?
Well, for me to be unshaken, it means that through all the things that I had ever gone through, it means for me not to easily be moved by those things anymore. All the fear, rejection, and all of those things, they've been shaken off of my life, and it's because of the love of Christ, and because at one point I would allow those things to overshadow what I had to do, and so for me to be unshaken means to move from by don't be moving by fear, and not to allow rejection that was in my life to take control, or not to let delays that used to happen in my life to just cause me not to move forward and doing the things that I need to do. And the unstoppable piece means that for me to keep moving forward. No matter how old you are, no matter where you think you are in your transition of life, to just keep on moving and not allowing new technology or any of those things to stop you from keeping up and doing the things that you need to do, because I take pride in learning something new every day. So I don't allow those things, the AI and all of those, to stop me from being progressive in the things that I have to do, especially with my business. And unapologetic for me, it means no longer being stuck or shrinking or hiding or apologizing for who I am. I don't need anyone to validate who I am. I know who I am in Christ. And so that unapologetic, because at a point in my life, I always would say, "Oh, I'm sorry, this and that," or feeling like I was less than someone else. And so I don't allow those things to enter into my mind gate anymore. And I just don't have to apologize for being who I am, and being my authentic self when I do it.
I hear that. Yes, yes. And so, the second part of your chapter, we're talking about rising boldly into your purpose. What challenges or resistance did you have to face along that way?
Just the naysayers, and feeling unworthy because of things that had happened. And so when you get past those things, then you rise boldly, and you don't allow the noise to stop the things that you've been called to do for a time such as this, because we have so much to do. But if we allow the noise and all the things that we have experienced in life to stop us, because I work with a whole lot of young women that, because of trauma and because of things that happened in childhood, it keeps them stuck. It keeps them um, not feeling like they're worthy, or feeling like their voice is necessary. And it's because they haven't dealt with those traumas. And once you deal with those traumas, you are able to rise and be bold in the things that you do, and not have to, like I said, going back to apologizing for who you are and the things that God has put in you to be able to help and put instill those things into other people.
I
Yeah.
love that. And you said something really important. The noise gets in the way in so
Yes.
many different ways, whether it's from your own direct, sometimes who you think is your direct support can be noise, your work environment, your situations that you're in, when life start happening. And so a lot of times those things definitely do affect us. And I love how you're working with so many women to really overcome that. And I love that this book really shares a lot of moments of us having to face those journeys, and really hoping that we can pour into other women and seeing themselves in our own experiences as well. And
Yeah.
so like during the yeah, so during those times when like you have the noise or the things are happening and life is taking place, like what kept you grounded during that time?
Scripture and God and leaning and depending on Him because I knew that I couldn't do it alone. Anything we do, if we think we got it all together, we don't have it all together. But with Him, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So I had to begin to lean in on Him as my source and all the things that I was doing to be successful to get it done. So I wasn't trying to depend on just me. I knew I wasn't in the struggle or whatever I was going through by myself. So I didn't allow that to
Love
to,
it.
to be a burden or be something that would hinder. Because I look at a lot of people now when we talk about noise and all of that, they have the all the things in the head, but they never structure it or never write it down. I said, God has put all given you the vision. He's giving you gifts. He's giving you talents. But if you have all these dreams and all these things and you never have structure, you never write them down and it's in your head and it stays there, it's not movement. So you don't have no movement. There's no intention in what you're doing. So you have to be intentional about what it is that you're going to do. Because if not, you won't move. You won't
I
progress.
love that.
You won't
And
progress.
so
You'll
what
just go ahead.
oh, yeah, and so what does it like mean for you now to walk in purpose? So what does that look like for you?
It gives me peace. It gives me joy because I'm doing what I want to do and I'm helping others get beyond where I am. Because whoever I work for, I want to see them go better, go further than me. So what seed I sow into them, it gives me joy to see them go further. So that makes me happy that I was a part of the journey because I always talk about that legacy piece. Legacy is in motion. Every day, legacy is being birthed. And so, whatever you're doing to help that next woman or that next person, that brings me joy that I'm able to be that servant leader um, in all areas of my life, in my family, in my church, in my community, to serve, and that somebody else is going to be blessed in the process of it. So,
And so you talked about, legacy. So how are you building or leaving a legacy through your work and your voice?
well, through these books that I'm writing, I have created a lot of systems. I have a wise method system that I have created, a step system that I have created, my 7 pillars of transformation, and definitely through the writing. And I tell people, even a lot of people say, "I want to write a book." Well, you haven't written a book, so the first thing you need to do is join a group of women and write a chapter. Start right there before you say, "I'm going to write a book," when you haven't even wrote down nothing in a journal. So at least get some practice with. That's why I join different groups and write these chapters because I get joy out of working with people that I don't even know. You know what I mean?
I love that.
And it brings about a community. It brings about other people that you meet that are on the same mindset as you. And so for me, that brings me joy. You know, I enjoy.
Yes, yes.
I enjoy.
I enjoy. I
Oh,
understand. Yes,
yeah, I enjoy that purpose in motion because your purpose have to keep on moving. It don't just stay in
you're
one
absolutely
spot.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, and I think this book did just that with the ladies who joined this experience. It's been nothing but community reflection, and just affirming yourself and while affirming others. And so I definitely agree with you. Like for those who are looking to write a book, joining a project like this to enter get around the right people, the mindset, get your
That's
feet
going
wet a
to
little bit
encourage you,
before
build you
doing a
up.
full.
Yeah, to build you up.
Yes,
Yeah, because
I
people
love
get
that.
much that they think that they can't do it. They can, but they just have to
Mhm.
be intentional and get the noise out because a lot of times you can't, you have to walk in silence with some things that you do. And once you do it, because you'll find out everybody don't have your back. Everybody is not going to celebrate the things that you're doing.
Yes.
So you have to learn that along the way and not allow that to cause you to shrink back. Because at one point in my life, I used to let that make me shrink because of what I
Mhm.
thought others were feeling. So I'm past that. I could care less about what somebody feel as long as I'm in progression, as long as I'm intentional about what I'm doing and try to do it in excellence. Not that I'm perfect or anything, but to try to do the best job that I can do in the process. Yeah.
I love that. Now, in this book, we talk about being fierce, fearless, and focused. What does it mean to be fierce for you?
For me, because I used to walk in fear, is that I take fear with me when I go. So I said, fear, if you want to show up, then you going with me. And then it flees. Because God has not given us a spirit of fear of power, but of power, love, and of a sound mind. And so I dealt with that fear thing. So I know what that feels. So the fearless, I'm gonna move. Whether it shows up, it's gonna have to go along with me or flee. One of the two, because I'm not gonna let it stop me. Because at one point in my life,
Hmm.
it would stop me, you know, because I would have that fear going on. So I tell women,
I
listen,
love that.
you have to be in control of your mind. It's mind over matter. And if you allow the negativity to get there and stay there and you overthink, because what happened, we as women, especially because of the various roles that we are responsible for, we will overthink things. And some of the things that we're thinking don't have nothing to do with what's going on. But we will let it infiltrate into what's going on, which will cause that fear to come in, that will cause you to shrink and miss the things that God would have you to do. Because when the fear come in, you stop. They stop. They stop procrastinating. Oh, I'm gonna do this next week. No, if you didn't do it when you said you was gonna do it next week, it's gone. So what you doing? You know. So we have to just make sure that, because when that fear is there, procrastination is there, laziness is there, and I'm gonna do it later, and you never do it later.
I love that. I love that. The one nugget I'm gonna repeat that you said was take the fear with you, bring it along the way. Don't let it stop you.
Don't let
Um,
it stop.
and I
But
think that's so strong. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And to be fierce, I mean, hey, look, there's no need in walking in fear, and you got to be fierce about what you're doing and making sure that the Lord has your back. He is in total control. So when we lean on Him, we don't have to walk in those feelings that we try to put on ourselves, because He's in control. Now, when we try to put ourselves in control, some of those things will overtake us. But when we know that He's in control and we allow Him to direct our path, all those other things, they don't matter. And I really love the name of the book, I Am Her. That's powerful right there. I am her. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah, and yes,
And
you are.
somebody needs to feel that special. They need to feel special enough to say, I am her. And I'm not gonna let
And
fear
so,
stop me. Yeah.
so speaking of fear, so fear was, fearless was the second part of the theme of the book. What fear
Right.
would you say you have to overcome to see yourself as being unstoppable in the work that you do?
Uh letting procrastination show up for me. Yeah.
I love that because sometimes it gets in the way. You made a good point because even the first chapter into our book is called, stop waiting for your until. So like we're waiting until this happens, until
That's
I'm gonna
right.
get this together,
Right.
putting things off to the
It's,
side. And so I love that fear, fear of being
yeah, that
successful can get.
it can get in the way. And see, and daily we need to have a plan daily. Even if we and our list can't be like this, we have to make measurable lists. And even if we don't get if we get one done that day, we did something. If we get two, we really did something. If we get three,
Yes.
it's okay. But make sure on that list something got done. Because
I
life
love
is
that.
lifing, so things can happen to cause us
Hmm.
not to complete tasks, but we have to be intentional. Again, I think intentional and movement is very, very important, and having clarity about what it is that's going to happen when you get that task or whatever you have to do done. Yeah, and complete it.
Huh?
Because if you have all these different things and
Yes.
nothing is completed, that means some clarity went lacking somewhere, and you let that procrastination show up again, and then that fear snuck in there too, and you just stopped. Yeah.
I love it. Now the last part of the thing was focus. So what keeps you focused as you continue to rise?
What keeps me focused is early morning rise in prayer
Okay.
and worship, and having a prayer life, and writing the vision, making it plain, praying daily before I do anything else, listening to my scriptures or either reading my scriptures. And then that is what helps keep me focused for me. That's what keeps me grounded to be able to do the things that I do. Yeah. That's
And
that's
woman who's
Go ahead.
yeah, and for that woman who is shrinking herself or really holding back right now, what would you say to her?
I would tell her that she's sitting on gold, and nobody can help her overcome what's going on but her. She has to be intentional about what it is that she wants to do, because she has we're sitting on gold, but it's up to us to produce it so that it will have motion, and that it will bless somebody else, because when we sit on what we have, somebody else is missing out on something, because it could be the very word that you say on a live stream, in your book, wherever, at church, whatever, that could bring a transformation in somebody else's life, because it's about transformation as well. And when we renew our minds every day, transformation takes place. And transformation is an ongoing thing. So if we don't allow the transformation to keep on happening, then that's on you, because nobody can do it for you. You have to have the mindset that I can do this, I can do it. I can do it, and I'm not alone when I do it. That's why we need to be in community. That's why we need to have a close relationship with God and have Him as the center of everything that we do, so that we will be able to stay focused to do the things that we have to do. And it won't feel hard. And when you're working in your passion, it don't feel hard, and you feel at peace with it. But when you don't have the peace, then something's missing. So who is missing? Christ is missing, because He's the one that gives you peace. He's the one that gives you joy. So that's how I look at it for me.
I love that. And whoever's listening, I'm sure that resonated with them and will resonate with them for those to come to listen as well. And so before we go, one thing, I asked each of our authors to come in and share is to complete the sentence. And so I'm going to start the sentence and you're just going to end it. And
Okay.
it starts off saying, I am her because.
I'm unstoppable. Unstoppable. I am unstoppable.
I love it. I love it. Well, Dr. Valarie, I want to thank you for sharing your voice, your story, your back with us today. And it's just really been amazing to get and listen to and take away nuggets and just even reaffirming myself. I get joy in even this work that I do, just to reaffirm and just being with women like you and the other women of this project has really been very impactful. And the one thing I'm going to take away is to take the fear with you and don't let it stop you. I love that you said that. And so,
Yeah.
yes. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's been a pleasure having you on. And I just want to urge those who are listening or watching, stay connected, share this
Yeah.
episode, continue
Yeah.
forwarding voices. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that are,
Yes.
creating real change. Like
Yes.
Dr.
And I
Val.
thank for allowing me to come up here just to, to have this conversation, because I enjoy writing that chapter. And I was like, because the thing of it is, and I tell people when they talk about they want to write a book, I tell them to write a chapter. I said, do you know how many stories we have? We have so many stories to tell, because of, and those experiences was the real classroom. Every experience was a classroom to get us where we, you know what I mean? So
I took some
even though
classes.
uh, even though we were in classes, the experiences was a classroom as well. So with those experiences, those are nothing but testimonies and stories that we could share. We don't have to share the same story because we got so many. Yeah, yeah.
I love that. Well, for those who are watching, tune in, be sure to grab your copy of I Am Her, Fierce, Fearless, and Focused to experience even more powerful stories like this one, Dr. Val. And for those out there, Dr. Val's been talking about, right? So if you have been carrying a story, a message, or a voice inside you that you feel like the world just needs to hear, this is your reminder that you do not have to wait for permission.
You
Carry
don't
that fear with you.
carry
Yes.
carry it with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. And so at Mac Media and Publishing, we bring those stories to life and turn them into impact. And so I want to thank you all for tuning in with us. This is Voices of Impact and Change, and I am Dr. Mac, Chief Visionary Officer of Mac Media and Publishing, reminding you to walk boldly in who you are called to be.
Yeah.
Until next time, thank you again, Dr. Val.
Thank you.